Hello there, welcome you, Gaspar here from G.P.Airsoft, your fourth favorite GBBR channel. And today I have with me, for a long time I've been wanting this gun, and it is the MP5. Well, probably everybody out there know what the MP5 is, but it is an Agent K gun. And it is a 9mm version of the G3. A lot of people think that the G3 is a 7.62 version of the MP5, but it is actually the other way around. The G3 came first. This is the WE version. I decided for the WE instead of the VFC. For those out there who want to have a better quality video on this gun, there is the Bada Bing video on this comparing to the VFC one, so I'm not going to be comparing it here, but he has a complete video dedicated to both these. He had both and he tested out a lot of things in there. So if you're interested to see if the WE against the VFC, his video is just amazing, and I'm going to leave a link down in the description. Now here, without further ado, let's get to the video. But before, just one thing before I go, follow me on Instagram. Instagram deleted my account and I'm having to rebuild, so follow me there. Now let's get to the review. First things first, mag release. It has an easy mag release that is AK style. It's just a lever that you have to push and pull the magazine out of the gun. You have also a kind of M4 style mag release, but it's too far ahead and you need to move your hand to press it, and also the button is way down on the frame so it doesn't get accidentally pressed, so it's a little bit. I believe that this button was made for you to use with your right hand, use your thumb there, but I may be wrong. Let me know down in the comments. Okay, the selector on this gun, it's ambidextrous and has 4 positions: safe, semi-automatic, burst fire, and fully automatic. One thing to notice is that this gun does not click in place very noticeably. You don't feel that click, you don't feel exactly the point you need to go. For the first one, semi-automatic, you kinda can feel it, but for burst, it's a little weird, mushy, and you don't actually feel exactly that you got in place. The sights on this gun. The rear sight has this screw on the top that you have to loosen so that you can adjust the windage using this screw on the right side. You just loosen it a little bit so that you can move the piece with the right screw, and then you tighten everything back. The rear sight has 4 apertures that you can adjust for more field of view or more precision. And the front sight post is completely fixed, and the side picture you get is this one. This gun is so very famous for its reloading way. You have to pull the bolt back and lock it in place so that you can put in a new magazine, and then you just slap it away, giving it its classic name, the Agent K slap. So it's very simple the way to do it. You just pull it back and lock it on the open position, and then you put the magazine with the ammo and just slap it away, and the bolt goes back in battery and you're ready to shoot again. I love the way this gun reloads. This gun does not lock open. The bolt does not stop on the back of the gun. So instead of this gun has this little system right here that's supposed to get the knocker valve out of the way, so that it just, when it punches above the valve and it does not shoot. So this depicts correctly how the real steel MP5 would work, because it would not lock open unless it's the 10mm FBI version. It would not lock open, it would just click, and you would have to pull the bolt back and lock it and do that extremely cool reload. The stock on this gun has this little lever right here that you can pull aside and it extends all the way. This gun has 3 positions. This one right here that I find it very unuseful, since the completely extended one is already too short for me. So you have this even shorter one, you have this almost completely extended, and another one after that. And this is the one that I use because it is the longest it gets. And you can use the shortest one so that you can get onto a CQB or anything else. Now here you have a little bit of wobble on the back, but it is understandable. But on the gun it does not wobble at all, it's completely firm. So just the stock wobbles, but you cannot feel it when you're using it. So it is understandable for what it is. I don't have anything to complain, it's not a problem for me. And here, completely collapsed, it has this little pin under spring tension here that's supposed to help you extend it when you are completely collapsed. Here you just pull the lever and it already shoots out so that you can pull back and it extends almost all the way through. Now you have the sling mounts here on the gun, on the back and on the front. On the front is just a small loop, so I put a little bit of paracord on it so that I can put any kind of sling that I wanted. Now to get to the hop up on this gun, you need to take off the pin on the handguard and then pull it down and forward. That gives you access to your hop up wheel. You can adjust it here, the hop up, and it is not the easiest thing to do, but I did it in game while in combat, so it is not impossible to do. It's not the easiest way, but you don't need any tools, so I'm gonna give it that. Yeah, I'm okay with that. Okay, now let's chrono this gun. A little tip that I give you guys for most of my GBBRs: to load it, put a finger on the back and on the front so the BBs cannot escape, and you can feed it from the top. Of course, this is not the best way to do it. The best way to do it would be with the adapter and you feeling the BBs from the front, but it is what it is. It's an emergency. You can do it to almost every magazine. Now I'm gonna put a little bit of gas, and I'm pulling this lever down so that the gun will shoot. We'll talk about that a little bit later on the video. Now slap it and chronoing. I made a mistake. I forgot to change the settings on my chrono, and this is with 0.2 gram BBs, not 0.25, so you cannot consider the joule on this one. So you can see that it is around 330 FPS, fairly consistent. This gun is a small gun made for CQB, so I believe that this FPS is very consistent to the objective of the gun. You don't have a lot of need for it to be very hot, because you probably mainly are gonna use it on CQB. Now here we have this flash hider that came with the gun, and it is supposed to attach to the end of the barrel of the MP5, because the MP5 doesn't have like a flash hider. The barrel just ends, so you can put it and turn it and just lock that in place with the tab on this, and you have it completely fixed. But this is just a visual thing on the Airsoft version, and it is pretty wobbly, so yeah, you know that. Here on the front we have a cover for a 14mm thread, standard Airsoft one that you can use whatever you like here. Now here I have the Surefire Handguard, and I had to adapt it a little bit because it's a classic army one, so I have to file a little bit of these tabs on the inside, and also I had to make a little bit of cushion with foam to keep it in place. Since this is not an specifically GBBR thing, this is a classic army one, like I said, I had to do this with a little bit of foam. EVA, this is actually EVA, and it aligned perfectly with the sights. So basically where I'm pointing my light at, it is working. I did it and it looks awesome. Now here I want to explain to you guys a little bit about the burst fire on this gun. This gun's burst fire is not as the real steel would be. And why is that? Well, the burst fire on this gun does not reset. So you guys can see here, 1 shot, 2 shots, 3 shots. Okay, burst fire correctly. Now we're gonna do it again. 1 shot, 2 shots, I let go of the trigger, then I shot once and it stops. So this gun does not reset the burst fire. It just keeps on from where it left off. As you guys can see better here when it's open, I'm gonna be able to show you. Now here, 1 shot, 2 shots, I'm pressing the disconnector here, 3 shots and it stops, just like it's supposed to be. But if I shoot once, let go of the trigger, rearm everything, let go of the disconnector, now I'm gonna press again, 1 shot, re-engage, disconnector, 2 shots, re-engage, and it does not keep going. And now we're gonna get to magazines. I have 3 different magazines for this gun: the drum magazine, the V1 magazine, and the V2 magazine, and we're gonna talk about all of them now. This one is the drum magazine. I'm not a big fan of drum magazines, especially because they don't work like the real thing. We're gonna get to the drum later. Now here we have the V1 mag. It's pretty light magazine, and it has the system here to make the gun stop. You can pull it down and just lock it down so that you can dry fire your gun. Now here in this position you can dry fire your gun, and the same thing with the second V2 mag. You can lock it for dry fire mode, but if you don't, it will stop when you're out of ammo, and I find that awesome. I love the guns stopping when you're out. And here the drum magazine, you guys can see that it has nothing like that. You just have some cuts so that it wouldn't break the gun, but it is just that. Now here on the V1 magazine and V2, I figured this out because of Bada Bing's video. The curvature on it are not the same, and the V1 was too banana shape like banana curve, I don't know, it was too curved, and the V2 kind of corrected that so that it would be more realistic. And the V2 magazine is actually 3 times heavier, and on the bottom here we can see some differences as well. As you can see right here, the V2 has the shell holding the gas, and the V1 has a shell outside of the shell that holds the gas. Now to take off the bottom, you need to push on these 2 parts right here to release the bottom, and I think this is more realistic because it, like the real steel would have this. Now here you have access to your inner shell that holds the gas and the BBs, and you can do any maintenance that you may need. And the V2 doesn't have that. It's already, the mag is already the shell outside, so it's easier to maintain, but the V1 looks more realistic. Now here another difference on the front. You can see here the V2 is open so that you can see the BBs, and the V1 is not. I don't need to tell you what is more realistic than the other, but yeah, I think that's too bad because I like the V2's weight and overall system. Now here on the top and on the back you have completely no difference between both of them. And here on the magazine you have push this rod down after filling BBs. It will allow the gun to fire. This is my biggest complaint with this magazine, that if you do not pull this down after you fill the BBs, the gun will not fire, because there is a little bearing that holds it in place until you pull it down manually, and that sucks. But I understand why they did it, why they had to do it. So it happened to me, like I had the ammo, as you guys can see, and I had to recock the gun and pull down on this little lever because I took off my pouch, and the pouch itself re-engaged the stop system and my gun wouldn't shoot. So I had to take everything. Now here a little bit more about the drum magazine. As you can see, the top is the same, but the way to fill BBs is by this little trap door on the left side of the magazine. Then you have to crank this wheel right here and it will push the BBs up, and when it's all up you turn it a little bit more just to give it tension so that you can fire about 10 to 20 BBs. Now here you have the 3 magazines, and this is all you get from this gun, the 3 different types of magazine that I was able to get. And I basically am a fan of the V2 because it's heavier and it has the correct curvature, but as you can see it has its strong points and its weak points. And the drum magazine for me is not that good because the BBs just rattle inside when you're running and the gun does not stop. So for me it's a no-go on the drum mag. Okay, now here to disassemble this gun, you can let the stock open, it will make your job easier. You take off the spin and then you can take off the buffer with the recoil spring and everything, the system on the stock. Now here you can tilt it a little bit downward and you can take off your bolt. In your bolt it's just this itty bitty thing here that I already have it laser engraved by a friend of mine here, and also had the MP5 markings on the top engraved as well, just for a little bit of realism. Now here on the bottom you have another pin that you need to take off, and this allows you to get your trigger mechanism off the gun. And here you can see everything that you may have to do with the gun and any maintenance. To put it back, you can push the pin from the right side to the left, and I don't recommend you guys doing the other way around because you may confuse it with the magazine release and you may press the button a little bit in, and that's just not good. So to prevent that, just put it from the right to the left. Now here we're gonna put our bolt back, and once the bolt is inside the gun we're gonna start to put the recoil spring on the back, but you have a little thing that you have to do before you reassemble that I had to figure it out because I didn't know, and I ended up forcing the gun a little bit. So after you put back your recoil spring here, you're gonna feel a little tension to the pistol grip back. So to put it back, you need to pull back on the bolt a little bit so that it gets to the position that it has to be. That happens because the disconnector is kind of in the way of the bolt, so you have to pull the bolt a little back because it carries the disconnector forward, so that's preventing you. So you just pull a little back and then put it in position and let it go so that you do not force the gun in any way. Now here we have a little bit of a problem with this gun, that it is a very loose front sight post and flash hider. This is not optimal, as you guys can see here. It has a lot of play. I'm not doing too much force, and on mine I already kind of fixed it. As you can see, it's much better, and I have 2 of these because I bought a second one. But as you guys can see, it's not perfect, but it is a lot better. So I'm gonna teach you guys right now how to do this, how to get your front sight to be a little tighter. First step, you need to take off this little cap right here. You just push it. It's not a screw. You just have to push it out of the way and take it off. Now this is supposed to be screwed to the tube to keep the iron sights firmly in place, but WE decided that nah, we don't need that, so they just did it like this, and so the sight is loose. Now here we have to take off this screw right here, and this screw is gonna take off the sling mount on the front. Then you can unscrew the tip of your barrel, and here we can see where the screw was holding it in place. Now that we have all of that off the gun, we can take off the front sight, and as you can see, it's not hard to take it off. So the solution is electrical tape. Yes, you just put the upper half of the tube of electrical tape, and it is already black, so it's gonna match your gun perfectly. Now I cut off the excess, not completely, because I need a little bit forward from the tube so that I can fold it in, so that when I'm gonna put back the sights like this, I fold the point in, so when I'm gonna put back the sights, it doesn't try to slip off. So this little part that's folded holds it in place, and now here we're gonna pressure put it in position. As you can see right here, now it's already very sturdier, and I'm gonna assemble everything back so that you guys can see that just this little detail helps a lot. Now screw the point of your barrel completely back, and you can use a little bit of force because it is not going to be in the correct position as out of the box, and then you can find the exact position so that the pin can screw in. Now after putting it back, you just put the sling mount on the other side to completely tighten it back in place. So that was it. Very easy fix. It is a lot better. Like I said, this is not gonna be perfect, so you have this little cap here also that I forgot you need to put back in. So this is not gonna be 100% perfect. As you can see right here, this is before and this is after. It is not completely sturdy, it's not rock solid, but it is 98% better. So if you're gonna do easy fix, easy does it. Now after everything that we've seen on this gun, I feel like it's time for us to get into pros and cons with this gun. So it is a very solid build. This gun is pretty solid. The weight on this gun is very good. This gun is heavier than it looks. This gun is completely ambidextrous, and the best thing of this gun for me is the Agent K slap. You can do that cool reloads that you have to do because this is a GBVR. The FPS is fairly consistent for a CQB gun, so I find that to be a very good thing. And the way that this gun stops, it is exactly like the real thing. And basically this system that it has to stop the gun exactly like the real thing got me from VFC to WE, because VFC doesn't stop all the way locked. It stops a little bit backwards because the follower hits the nozzle hits the follower, and the gun is not completely closed, and this breaks it a little bit for me. So that's why I have a WE instead of a VFC. This that you guys are seeing on the back is a gameplay that I had With my VFC V1 that I had, it didn't even stop, not even like a little bit close, it just kept going like dry firing. But this is the only footage and experience that I had with the VFC MP5. I know that Bada Bing found a way to make the MP5 VFC lock correctly, but like I said, I'm not gonna do a comparison here. You guys can check out his video on his channel. It's a pretty good video and I found everything that I wanted there. So now let's get back to the bad things on this gun, so cons. So first con for me is that the selector switch, you cannot clearly feel when it gets to burst fire, and that's not a big thing because I'm not gonna use it anyway, but I would like to be like an M4, just clicking in place like the VFC one is. The hop up on this gun is not good. It's kind of okay because this is a CQB gun, it's not supposed to be long range gun, but I was unable to upgrade it to a point that it is just like a good gun, like my MP9 that's just perfect and it goes very far, very good, and this is not it. So, and also the stop on empty is also a problem because it is a great thing, but since you have to put down that lever so the gun would fire, that is a problem and it's a pain in the ass for me. So this is a good and a bad thing on this gun. The burst firing, not resetting, it's not that good. Like I said, never gonna use it, but I know that the Real Steel does it, so I'm complaining. And the loose front sight post, that's just a shame. They could have done it correctly, but I don't know why they decided not to and do it like they did. And that is it. That is basically my comparison and my opinion on this gun. You guys can figure out for yourselves if it is worth it or not. I know that worldwide W have a great reputation, but I'm honestly happy with this gun. It's a classic gun, it gives me the look that I wanted. I wanted this gun. It was so hard for me to get the magazines for this gun in my country, but I finally got them and I finally could play a game with it. Like I said, not a long range gun or even medium range gun. This is just a CQB gun, but it is awesome doing it. The reload is amazing, the recoil is awesome, the way that it stops is awesome. Okay, so that was it for today. I hope you guys liked the video. Leave a like and subscribe. I didn't say that, so you had to watch it all the way through here to know that. Leave a like and subscribe, is completely free. You will also be helping me a lot. And Bada Bing, because I am a big fan and I'm always talking about him. So leave a like for Bada Bing. See you around.